Good evening, everybody. Good morning, I should say. I'm Scott Binsack, CEO and founder of March for America. It is April 21st. Tomorrow is our march in D.C. It is Friday morning, late. I will be up early after this show, heading into Washington tomorrow afternoon after we pick everything up. My daughter's even coming with her boyfriend, and we expect a large turnout there. Not what is on our Facebook event. Those events are not tied to the Eventbrite. I mean, they are tied to the Eventbrite, but they're not accurate count. Many people are on their way into Washington as we speak, and I want to thank them for coming out. Arizona is also in Phoenix, an event, and we have Mar-a-Lago, and we have Illinois, and we have Washington State. So I want to thank everybody for that. A lot of things happened today, and tomorrow you're going to get some bombshells. One major bombshell, I believe. And I want people to keep an open mind with what I'm going to discuss with you about Julian Assange and what happened today. And I was up mad. I got on and I got the information, and I broke the story for those who watched me before CNN did. And, you know, CNN goes, oh, people go, that's fake news. Just so you know, this story is real. And I am going to show CNN. I hate CNN, but they did break this story, and the information they're giving about Julian Assange is correct. Meaning correct as to that the United States government will be seeking charges against Julian Assange. Not that I don't know, I don't think Ecuador is going to give him up. But there's a key part of all this and why this is happening now. And I want you to also understand that Chavez has come out and said that he's going to be not running again in 2018. And I'm going to say something as a bombshell before I even begin. I believe Chavez is going to resign sooner than that, and it may be very quickly. Okay? I don't think it's going to make it to 2018, and he could resign much sooner than that, having to do with information coming out against him as well in this probe, and it just happened to come up where the left will be throwing that to get him off any investigation having to do with anything, because there's a possibility that he did get donations from, we'll say, illicit campaign donations, and that could be thought of as, not ethical. Again, blame it on Binsack, everybody. There's so much going on with this, and this whole, I'm going to start out with this. Let's start out with this, because you have two people that were raving about Julian Assange during the campaign. Do you know who the two people were? No, three, actually. We had Pompeo, and we had Sessions, and we had Trump talking about WikiLeaks is great for releasing Hillary Clinton's Podesta and DNC emails. If you go back into that, it's provable, okay? Fact check me. Now, on the flip side, all of a sudden, we have Julian Assange as going to be enemy number one. I want you to keep this in mind now, and I'm going to say this again. I am a Trump supporter, but I've been delving heavily with a couple other people into this Russian matter and what Deep State is up to and where they're going with this, and I've been warning and where this is going for some time. And people keep asking me, Scott, do you think Donald Trump knew about certain things? Do you know? And I'm still not ready to say yes or no. But I'm going to tell you something. Every day I become more and more on the fence. And this does not mean I'm not going to support our president. This does not mean, but I will. I will present the truth. Now, I want you to keep this in mind, what I just said to you. Julian Assange, I believe the Julian Assange matter, and I'm going to explain to you why, is a diversion. I believe Julian Assange is a complete diversion from the truth that is about to hit the fan. That the shit is about to hit the fan. And I believe Julian Assange is being used as a patsy. And I'm going to say that. I believe Julian Assange is going to be targeted as that of even being involved with Snowden and even tied with this Russiagate matters. And you say to me, well, right, we wouldn't know the truth without Assange. People will argue all that. There's much to Julian Assange. I did a video a long time about, I don't know, 8 months back, I think it was, about Julian Assange and the CIA and tied to the Rothschilds. There's a very factual video. There's a lot to Julian Assange's life, and that definitely are false charges against him that they have, over in Europe. But that's not the point of this. You now have our head of our CIA saying that Julian Assange is public enemy number one. We have Jeff Sessions has come out and said, basically, hey, I'll bring it to you here. And this is, CNN broke this, and I hate CNN. You all know I hate CNN, but this story is true. I even hate Wolf Blitzer. I can't stand him, but...
Well, Wolf, we have learned U.S. authorities have prepared charges to seek the arrest of WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange. This is according to U.S. officials speaking to myself, my colleague Evan Perez, and Shimon Prokupez. The Justice Department probe of Assange and WikiLeaks dates back to at least 2010, when the site first gained widespread attention, as you'll recall, for posting thousands of files stolen by the former U.S. Army intelligence analyst, now known as Chelsea Manning. Now, prosecutors over the years have struggled with the First Amendment, precluding the prosecution of Assange, but now we have learned through these officials that they have found a way to move forward. The Attorney General today was asked by my colleague Laura Jarrett about the focus on getting Assange.
You said crime reduction overall is one of your top priorities in the department. And last week we heard from CIA Director Mike Pompeo really assessing the scourge of WikiLeaks and Chelsea Manning leaks. Can you talk about whether it's a priority for your department to arrest Assange once and for all, and whether you think you can take him down?
We are going to step up our effort, and already are stepping up our efforts on all leaks. This is a matter that's gone beyond anything I'm aware of. We have professionals that have been at the security business of the United States for many years that are shocked by the number of leaks, and some of them are quite serious. So yes, it is a priority. We've already begun to step up our efforts, and whenever a case can be made, we will seek to put some people in jail.
Okay. The reason why... Oh, goodbye. I don't want to hear anything else from CNN. Have a nice day. Okay. Now, people were calling this fake news. This is not fake news. They are going after Julian Assange. And as I said, keep in mind, and I want to tell you something else. During Trump's campaign, Jeff Sessions, was the one to recommend to Donald Trump who he should have as advisors on foreign affairs. Okay? Those recommendations from Jeff Sessions happen to include Carter Page, Manafort, at all. Julian Assange right now is going to be used as a patsy. I'm telling you this right now. The DNC leaks, the first set were from Seth Rich. The second ones from Podesta. If you remember, in the middle of the summer, this is when this FISA warrant stuff came out, the alleged leaks that happened, blah, blah, blah. And they got this having to do with Carter Page, and they showed, and now they're showing that Russia, they have information, you'll see this come out next week, that they have information that Russia's computers spoke to, this computers, and having to do with a bank, 2 Russian banks actually. One of the bank Sessions is connected to. This is going to get very ugly, and our information on this, and this show tonight is not me about connecting the dots for you. It's about to tell you that Julian Assange is going to be thrown under the bus by Pompeo and Sessions. And Julian has played both sides. And I'm going to say something. When you get blacklisted by our intelligence agencies, and this blacklisting happens, Saddam Hussein was a blacklisted person. Saddam was done. Okay? When they were finished with him, they ate him up. Saddam was working with the CIA and our government for many years against Iran. We funded him. We weaponized him. We did everything. The same way you see us doing it with Saudi Arabia, with our and Turkey and Israel against Bashar al-Assad. It's the same way. This is what we do, okay? I'm getting very concerned about information that I'm seeing. And I'm no liberal. I'm no Democrat. I want our president to succeed. But there's lots of information, accurate information, coming out that and I've been warning that this week coming, it might even start tomorrow, that you're going to see arrests, or you're going to see, before those arrests, you're going to see the Senate Investigation Committee, which comes back on Monday, start to turn around, and they're going to say that they have evidence of collusion and that they want a special prosecutor and in conjunction therewith a special commission picked to investigate Russia hacking our elections, and that Julian Assange with Russia hacked the DNC, not Seth Rich, as well as got Podesta's emails. This story with Assange is going to take off like wildfire. Just give it till, we'll say probably by tomorrow night. And it's dropped today. It was dropped today for a reason. It's dropping today to cover up what bombshell is going to come tomorrow's a Friday, or the bombshell that's going to come, the bombshells that are coming this week coming, because there are going to be a lot from the Senate Investigation Committee. There's so much corruption in this. And this is what I want to discuss with everybody. You have to remember something. Our government, as you know it, is not what you have known for a very, very long time. Probably not its inception. Corruption. Our government, our presidents are all run by much bigger figures, and you get sucked down this rabbit hole. And people can go to Washington with the best intentions, and they slide in this swamp. They sink in this swamp. Neocons, globalists, New World Orders, they control our government. And when I said this, even when Donald Trump was running, okay, people could not put all their trust and everything in one man. This Donald Trump, and you can go back and watch my videos. You can't trust. It's not even about trust. Let's just forget about trust. You can't put your eggs in one basket and just say one president is going to change all of this and drain this nasty, horrible swamp. Because this swamp is very bad, very deep for a very long period of time. And if you watch, and I'm going to say this because I'm going to point it out, Donald Trump's changed his views on many things. We'll talk about Syria. Okay, and I try to say this chemical attack, which I'm telling you now, Russia's furious over this. Russia knows it's a setup. International experts, and I'm not done. Did 3 shows on it already. I'm doing another one that's really good. I just want to have this march we have on Saturday, and you're going to see some great shows from me coming next week, laying a lot of things out. This chemical attack happened, and then the whole world exploded. We had lobbing these cruise missiles in. Then the next thing you know, we have North Korea erupting. We have Iran now on the table that just popped up out of the blue. Okay, when I say out of the blue, all of a sudden we're hitting the Iran deal. Boom. Now we have Julian Assange. Boom. You have North Korea and China. Boom. Now, all these policies, there's nothing at home going on. This, just so you know, this healthcare bill is going zero. I'm telling you now. We're going to be in such a serious situation. We are in serious situations all over the globe at this moment. We got people even reporting that North Korea can hit our shores with a nuclear missile. North Korea couldn't hit our shores with a nuclear missile if it wanted to. I mean, if you gave them a missile, If you gave him a good missile, Kim could not even get it here because it would be shot down before it got here. Let's be real. Let's say if we gave him one of ours. Let's say Russia gave him one of theirs. Let's just say you gave it to him, you lit the fuse and said, here, Kim, send this. That sucker's not getting near here. Trust me. The defenses we have and let for ballistic missiles not getting here. This is all hype and propaganda. Are we on the verge of where one of these hotbeds could turn into a nuclear war with Kim? Yes, because does he possess nuclear material? Has he done nuclear tests that have been successful? Yes. But we're not going to go in there and start this because you're going to have a flood of millions of people rushing on either border. You're going to have South Korea getting smashed. And as I said earlier, there's tons of sleeper agents inside of South Korea. That's the key here. I'm telling you. China's not going to strike North Korea unless it gets pushed, unless they believe Kim is going to, But even then, China does not want to deal with the fallout of a North Korea and then have the United States on its back border. This is what I'm trying to tell you. China's the one benefiting in this deal. Its currency's gone up. Many different trade issues are happening. They have their own World Bank now, backed by gold. They're united with Russia when it comes to finances. There's so much going on that benefits China out of this deal. And Donald Trump flip-flopped on that too, and I'm sorry to tell you. He did not hold China responsible as a currency manipulator as he promised he would. I'm sorry. I'm just telling you the facts. I'm not saying I don't back Donald Trump. I'm telling you what he hasn't done that he said he was going to do. Okay? And I believe China was working with North Korea to manipulate this entire matter. I've said it since it started to happen. I look at the bigger picture. I look at how a globalist is going to look at this. I look at how these New World Order peeps look at this and how they manipulate all these, create all these situations, create these hotspots. And if they go and try to frame Assad again with chemical weapons, you will see us inside of Syria, and I predict that they're going to do it again. Right now in Iraq, you're seeing numerous reports of chemical weapons being used by ISIS, on fleeing ISIS, etc. That situation there, and all this evidence that keeps coming out that they're doing here, there's a massive bombshell coming against this Russiagate situation. Lots of bombshells. And Comey's the one behind that with Clapper, Brennan, Obama, et al. This isn't even really about Hillary Clinton. Is she behind all this stuff? Hillary Clinton's shot. Obama can't stand Hillary Clinton, just so you know that. He cannot stand. This is about Obama's New World Order. This is about much bigger. If you heard the UN speech that I played in parts for you in my other show from the other day. Obama, George Soros, the Rothschilds, the Bilderbergs, they have their own plan of a New World Order. And it's not the New World Order that, that everybody thinks it is like it used to be. This is a whole thing. Out of chaos comes New World Order. Henry Kissinger's own quote. He's gotten very close to Donald Trump, Henry Kissinger, and if you remember during the campaign, I did a show. I said, this is really bothering me that Henry Kissinger's around Trump. Went from China to Trump, and when you add up all of these things, and now all of a sudden Julian Assange is public enemy number one here. Public enemy number one, this is a massive story, and it's going to go, this story is going to catch on like wildfire. It already has. Yes, Obama's OFA, that is correct. And this is, people need to be alarmed by the people are so set that they're to the idea that Donald Trump may have, is totally clean in all this. And I back Trump, but from what I'm telling you and the information I have seen, and this is not fabricated CIA BS. This is not stuff. This is stuff where you check banking records, offshore records. Russia's tied to this, synagogues, Russian mafia, all this kind of stuff that's been slowly trickling out. And then you put all the pieces together. There's a lot here. And I don't believe in coincidences. Just like the judge that was appointed, and I'm thinking about making a Freedom of Information Act request from MFA to the federal court system about our great judge that can't stand, that Donald Trump called out, how he all of a sudden got appointed to our Dreamer case. Okay, so because to see if he really was in the rotation to get this case, or he was put into this rotation to have somebody get him this case. Yes, Assange is their sacrificial lamb. That's what's happening here. But everybody's going to be focused on Assange, and that's what they're hoping. And now Iran and other big deals going on. Get ready. There's going to be something massive happen. Between tomorrow and Tuesday, there's going to be something big is going to happen. I'm telling you, it's in the works. I'm telling you. Yes, Pam. And I'm going to do this special show. It's late. It's not the time to do this. And I've been working hard on it. I'm going to get into some famous stuff now. But Julian Assange is really being thrown under the bus here. The U.S. is going to press charges against him for espionage, ties with Russia. And you're going to see many others pop up here. And I'm going to, as I reported earlier, and I'll report again, Manafort is in the middle of dealing with the FBI with his attorneys to try to either get a proffer agreement, which a proffer agreement is that he's willing to, if he gives up information that is good and leads to the conviction of someone, his sentences would be reduced, or he gets full immunity and he tells all. Carter Page, same thing. Carter Page is just a sitting duck. Okay, Flynn. The situation with Flynn is so detailed and so it's bad. The Flynn situation is bad, and that's why nobody wants to touch him even with immunity. And I'm going to tell you something from knowing this and dealing with the U.S. Attorney's Office, dealing with the FBI. If they have so much evidence on you of a crime, they're not going to give you immunity to get shit. You better know that somebody just, that somebody just... murdered the president. You better have some serious evidence to turn on somebody for them to offer you immunity, because if they have enough dirt on you, they will not give you immunity. That's not how it works. Thank you, Alexander. I appreciate that. I'm looking forward to you to running our Japan. Japan, we're going to have an MFA in Japan. That's exciting to me. MFA Australia is going to go up next week. I mean, we have a lot of things going on. Well, Obama in all of this is very dirty as well. Okay, Obama's very dirty in this as well. There's so much dirt in this because you have. Here's the problem, and I really want. The problem is this: Obama's a puppet. Trump's a puppet. Okay. Clinton was a puppet, and the powers that be manipulate them all. Okay? They manipulate them all. And if you haven't noticed, Trump's complete demeanor has changed. And I'm getting concerned about something else. And me and a few other people in Underground have picked this up. Have you noticed Donald Trump's speech is not the same? He's like misstating words. He's like he's not the same. I do not see the same Donald Trump that we elected. I just do not. I do not see the same man in his face, in his persona, in everything. He came out to do, and his wife had to hit him to put his hand over his chest, even to the national anthem. Okay? And yes, Patty, I believe so. My concern is this. And from the evidence, I'm telling you, Pompeo and Sessions deliberately did this to Assange. I'm telling you, and it's just to blow this up in another area and to keep a very big distraction. Because I'm telling you, the shit's gonna hit the fan. And the shit I found out about Jeff Sessions, I do not like. I used to respect this man. I do not like it, and this is not from CIA reports. This is not from some fake dossiers. This is not anything. This has to do with his ties to Russian figures, Russian banks, and other things. And you would never think this from Jeff Sessions, and I will make that all too. Pompeo as well, and you got McMaster's. McMaster they got rid of Flynn. McCain praised the day that McMaster got in there. McMaster's a Muslim law, an Islam lover. I'm telling you, he is. He will not say the words radical Islamic terrorist. I'm telling you, he will not do it. And you have, where is the Make America Great Again stuff? We're all in this foreign policies and all this stuff, and I'm a Trump supporter. Listen, I'm going to March for America. That's why we have MFA. I created MFA for America, to stop corruption. But I'm going to tell you what. We've all supported Donald Trump. We voted. People worked very hard to get this man in power. But if I find out the information, I'm going to bring the truth. I don't care. Okay? I'm sorry. You can dislike my page. You can do whatever. But I'm not going to hide behind something that's not true about, whether it's about Donald Trump, whether it's about Julian Assange, whether it's about anybody involved in this. Where is this coming from? I guess you haven't watched my other shows, but this has been all piecing together. This is globalist at their work. And you're going to see Russiagate break open, and it's already started. I'm telling you, it's starting. And a senator, as part of the Senate Investigation Committee, has already gone to Cyprus. Senator Quigley, I believe his name is Quigley. If I'm pronouncing that correctly, he went to Cyprus about 7 to 10 days ago. Cyprus is a well-known money laundering haven. It's also one of Russia's most prominent places to launder money, as well as for offshore. He went to a bank there, got information, went to another. He came back, and his quote just recently in an article is that this is big. He got the documents. He's going to be presenting them to the Senate Investigation Committee next week. This is like, and this all goes, my part of this story that I'm investigating has to do, as I showed you in my other shows, these mob figures that got busted, and I verified that. That's easy to do. They then ratted. Okay, they ratted on some Russian mafia guys. The Russian mafia guys don't rat, but the Russian mafia guys led them to one particular gentleman. That one particular gentleman is key to all of this, and as far as a certain part of this. And I'm watching a lot of, when you're going to be accused of something or something's going to drop, our government is known. I don't care if it's the Trump organization. I don't care who it is. Any politician, any government, when you're going to be smashed with something, whether it's true or not, or some big scandal's going to start, you divert. You put diverted attention. Okay, you divert attention. Remember, these are Trump's picks going after Julian Assange, where Trump was praising Julian Assange. Whether it was hype or not, we love WikiLeaks. We love WikiLeaks. Even Jeff Sessions, Pompeo, during the campaign. Yes, Marie, he did not put his hand on his chest to do that. There's something going on with all this here. Russiagate is a false flag. I used to believe that, okay? I'm the one that started to label Russiagate a false flag a very long time ago. I said that they were going to use Russia to come after Trump and try to impeach him, okay? But when you start to see, and I don't care. You don't have to follow me anymore. You don't have to watch me. But I'm going to present you the evidence, and I have a show all to that, and we're getting more and more evidence every day. And I'm not saying Trump's dirty. I'm telling you that Team Trump, certain players on Team Trump are dirty. Very dirty. Very dirty. And some of the stuff you have to say to yourself, well, how does Trump not know about this? How did Trump not know about this? How did Trump not know about this? So you have to ask yourself some of these questions. And when I present it to you in my other show, I started to present it to you. Jim, you have gone 360 with Russia. Yes, I have. Yes, I have. And it's because I'm a factualist. I look at facts. And I'm not saying all of Russia is true. That's what I'm trying to tell you. There's two Russian matters here. So I want you all to understand that. We're not talking about one big Russian matter. We're talking about there's a couple of Russian matters here. There's the Russian matter of them accusing Trump team with colluding with Russia. And then you have the other Russian matter is that Russia interfered with our elections and hacked the DNC and hacked Podesta and then got the information to Julian Assange to leak out. Okay, there's two different Russian matters here. There's two different Russian matters. Can they both collide together? And are they trying to get them to collide together? Yes. Okay. So I don't like corruption, and I'm going to put it out there. Okay? I don't care. I don't care where it leads me. In other words, the information I'm going to put out there. Do I believe that Obama, Brennan, Clapper, and Comey, do I believe that there was a setup to interfere with Trump in the election, to compromise the election? Yes, I certainly do. Do I believe Obama unmasked names and was spying on people for beyond Donald Trump, since he's been, probably back to 2008, roughly in there, 2009? Yes, I do. I fully believe that. Then you have that scandal as well. You're going to watch that one get pushed under the carpet. Trust what I tell you. They're going to push that under the carpet. Trump has even turned around and said Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton are nice people. Remember that. You have to remember he said that. These are not nice people. These people, Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton, both belong in jail for the rest of their lives. Debbie, you're getting smart. Debbie's getting very smart. Don't ever call Putin a puppet for Russia. Do not ever do that. These YouTube videos, I'm going to tell you what. Putin knows everything that goes on in that country, and Putin pulls nothing happens in Russia without Putin's approval. Understand this. Nothing. Putin has Russia on such a lockdown, and the people that are with him and his team, don't ever believe Putin's a puppet. Putin's not a globalist puppet. Putin's not a puppet for anybody. And that's the problem. Okay? Putin's a wild card for everybody. Putin is a dangerous guy. Putin's a gangster first. You need to remember that, and he has a gangster mentality. Okay? There's a whole difference there. This is former KGB. This is a man that, Putin's got a and you got to remember something about Russia, and you got to hand it to them. They do not have immigrants running across their border. This terrorist attack is this has got them livid. Okay, and that was a CIA false flag to happen over Russia. Trust what I tell you. That was a Mossad, MI6 CIA act. That's what that was. Yes, Patty. Clinton Cash is a very good book, and it's pretty much accurate. 80% of it is very accurate. I started investigating the Clintons with the Panama Papers when they opened up the Panamanian government and papers for offshore corporations. I found that's a rabbit hole. Oh, my God. There is not hundreds. There's thousands of offshore corporations that are linked. They're open, closed, open, closed. It's one of the biggest. The Clinton Foundation and the Clinton Initiative, which they've basically shut down. These are talking major money laundering. Excuse me. Operations. Okay? Yeah, Putin's no puppet. Putin is no puppet. Okay? Putin's no puppet. And this, I will tell you, this dossier, this fake stuff in this dossier, the FBI paid for this. That's how they got the FISA warrant. The British agent stealing this. The guy is like, I'm telling you, the guy's as incredible as Get Smart and Agent 99 with a shoe phone. Trust what I tell you. And in my report, in my show, I'm going to show you who Steele is. Okay, not the CIA agent Steele. This is the UK agent that came up with this dossier that got paid a lot of money for it. Yes, Elaine. Edgar Casey is a very good. I have a lot of respect. I've done a lot of research on Edgar Casey because when I had my near-fatal auto accident and I saw the other side, Edgar Casey's story about when he was... Edgar Casey, I believe almost everything that Edgar Casey's ever seen or said has come forthwith. Okay, even medically, everything. So, what's the march supposed to accomplish? You know what's missing in this country? Unity. Unity for America. America must put America first. You don't put a president first. You don't put the government first. You put yourself, your family, and your country first. That's what's missing in this country, and that's the globalist New World Order overall that they want to do and have been doing for a very long time, dumbing down our societies, opening up our borders, controlling our children with propagandized schooling and doctrine, okay? The list is endless. Taking away right after right after right, splitting people in half, black versus white, red versus green, Christian versus Muslim. I mean, I'm just telling you. Meanwhile, in the Middle East, there's a genocide of Christians going on, okay? There's hardly any left in Iraq. Syria, Bashar al-Assad, the only one protecting Christians. And don't get me wrong, Bashar al-Assad's a dictator. But I'm going to tell you what, all the evidence and information I see, those 2013 chemical attack, where the chemicals came from, they definitely 1,000% have tested to come from Libya. Okay? Benghazi, another atrocity. Whatever came out of Benghazi, nothing. These commissions are puppet shows. MFA was not created for Donald Trump. MFA was created for America, to stand up against corruption and protect its constitutional freedoms and unite people against this swamp. The people have the power. That's what many of you miss. And I don't know how come you miss that. Maybe it's because so long the government is controlled and said, this is this, look at this, mass media is controlled, this and this. Okay? Exactly. Alexander, the left unites and the Trump supporters go, oh no, I got a job. Oh no, they're getting paid. Here's the best I keep hearing. If they go to impeach Donald Trump, we'll be at civil war. If you're not doing anything now, you're not going to civil war when they go to impeach Donald Trump. Bullshit. Okay? I do not understand why people do not want to believe that there are people on the left that every day, through David Brock's organization, through Obama's organizations, through Hillary's organizations, and thus all tied back to George Soros and the New World Order, are every day, even around the clock, doing whatever they can to impeach Donald Trump and or get him forced to resign. People who told me this on election night said, oh, that'll pass. The marching will pass, the protesting will pass. Really? Get ready. This Saturday, you had the big tax march. People go, they were all paid. What Donald Trump was trying to tell you is that the organizations behind them were paid. And they got millions of dollars, just so you know, in donations from their people themselves. And they did not get paychecks. They didn't get paychecks to go out there. It's people will have to unite and be strong. That's what has to come out of all this. That's what I'm marching for. And I'm also marching for Trump to hold him accountable for the promises that he made to America and what he promised to do. And that's part of this. As Sean Hannity says, he's very close with Donald Trump, but he told him to his face, and he's told him outright, Mr. President, I will hold you accountable for your actions. I will hold you accountable to your promises. Chafez is, I'm going to tell you something. There's something much bigger behind this. I just got that information tonight. Chafez is the reason why he's coming out saying he's not going to run anymore. He wants time with his family at all. He's trying to soften the blow of what's coming because it's almost, I'll say 85%, you're going to see dirt hit the fan on Chafez, and I think you're going to see him either be retired sooner, maybe even very soon, depending upon how fast the information comes out having to do with campaign contributions and things. He's on their hit list. Don't you get it? They're wiping out everybody and putting in who they want. And now they're going to get a special prosecutor, mark my words. and they'll get a special commission, and or both or one. Okay? Special prosecutor, newly discovered evidence, and then people are going to go, well, you guys said at this date that there was no evidence. Listen to the word. People have to stop listening to what they want to hear and listen to what's actually being said, as I pointed out. If you read what somebody says, Comey, Brennan, Clapper, all said, at basically in their words, at this time, we do not see any collusion. At this time. They had already known what they were going to drop. You have to understand, this information just didn't come out. It may start to be coming out to the public. They had already had this shit set up. Okay? McCain's the one that got Comey the dossier from this freaking wannabe agent that he's worthless. They paid this dude to come up with this dossier, and now they're saying parts of the dossier are true. And that's the true parts the FBI used. I'm telling you what they're saying. I'm not agreeing with that. And they're using this dossier. They used this dossier to get a FISA warrant. Okay? And they did. There's so many stories. Don't you understand? There's so much shit breaking all of a sudden over the past month. 2 months, really. But over the past month, more so. Nobody even knows what to watch, what to keep up, what to believe, what to do this. That's all part of the plan as well. Don't you understand what psychological warfare is? They tell you what it is. We've been doing that since World War I. I just don't get why Obama blackmailed. Please, Obama's got more dirt on everybody because of his listening and opening up. That's spy. Obamagate. That's spying. That's factual. Obama is unmasked, dealt with everything. I mean, you name it, he's listened to them. I mean, he's from Angela Merkel to Israel to Netanyahu. He's listened to everybody. He's listened to congressmen, senators, everything. He pulled a Hoover. Obama pulled a Hoover, and he's got the dirt. He pulled a Clinton as well. They got the dirt on everybody. And I also want you to point out who's Donald Trump's latest female pick? Who's she connected to? Who's she's close friend? Valerie Jarrett. Valerie Jarrett's a very dangerous woman. Do not kid yourself. Very smart woman. She's Obama's right hand. And nothing gets done without, Obama does nothing without Jarrett's approval. Trust me. Woman's moved into his house. She's bad news, and yet one of her closest friends is on Trump's security team. I mean, the security, in the White House? For real? Advisors? Come on. What's wrong with everybody here? You got McMaster in there. You got her in there. This has got liberal, Democrat, New World Order written all over it. You got Kushner. I have a whole show that I was planning to do on Kushner to expose Kushner. Listen, this stuff with Kushner is serious. Just so you know, I'm going to give you the story about Kushner's old man, too. Very powerful, corrupted felon for serious tax evasion. I mean, massive tax evasion. And you don't hear that talked about a lot in any of it, even during the Trump campaign. Yes, Sandra, the same problems all over Europe. Don't you see it happening everywhere? ISIS is everywhere. You have Germany full of 1 million immigrants. They have Sharia police in Germany. Angela Merkel's the biggest globalist Obama lover. Okay? New World Order. You look at Paris. You look at what's happening there with all the attacks. You think those are not to interrupt its election? Our CIA is controlling that election. They do not want Le Pen in there. Yes, Kushner's father, it's huge. I'm just saying to everybody, and I'm not losing sight of Donald Trump, but I'm going to hold him, and you as voters should hold the president that we voted for to his promises. That's nothing. That's not asking anybody to do anything against Donald Trump. That's being American and holding our president, who is a politician now, but our president accountable for what he promised the American people. That's normal. That's what you're supposed to do. Sean Hannity, to hold him. You know, it seems like people voted for Trump and that Trump can do no wrong, and that it's just supposed to be, okay, I trust Trump, let him handle it. I trust Trump, let him handle it. I trust Trump, let him handle it. I've seen a lot of flip-flopping. A lot of flip-flopping. And I'm going to hold him responsible for that. As should you. That's not against Trump. That's being an American, protecting his country, and putting America first. There's a lot of false stories out there too. Please, you know, John Kerry, Jared is dirty. Jared is bad news. Okay, Kushner is really bad news. And when I show you this banking information of what Jared pulled with Russia, and it's factual. This is not CIA made up. This is factual stuff. Jared had a very big bank deal, very big banking financial deal with Russia, with Ivanka involved, and Trump knew about this right before Donald Trump got sworn in on Inauguration Day, and it's bothering me, and this is a key part of this, and it's tied to some people I know in New York, and this is where I'm telling you, these are serious players here. No, Jim, he's not being played. In some things, listen, as far as, I'll tell you what, as far as information coming from Pompeo and the intelligence agencies, I believe he's probably being played on not being given all the information. Okay? But there's more to this. Like this Julian Assange, Trump knows exactly what's going on with this and why they're pulling this. This is Trump's administration doing this. Just remember that. This isn't Obama's. This is Trump's administration putting this man on the chopping block. Yes, he has to know. His son-in-law knew firsthand. I've seen his banking. I have a lot to show everybody. It's just, like I said. And I also want to let everybody know we're going to be live streaming the march on MFA TV live stream. You can sign up for the video player. I will have it up for the march. I'm going to start to be video casting from Washington tomorrow night. Helen, you feel Donald Trump's hands are being tied. Well, we are all responsible for things that we do. Okay? All of us. We're all human. We all do things. However, when I see information that's coming out and I see things that are like out of the wacky stuff. I mean, wacky stuff. Do you know how many times Donald Trump has tweeted in his time that he should not be involved in the Syrian war even during the 2013 chemical attack? This is what David Brock et al. And team do. You see, they pick apart all these past things that Trump does. They have video footage, every tweet, every Facebook, everything he's got. This is what they have. And they put these things together and they go, wait a minute, look. In Trump, he said this 8 times about Syria. I'm using an example. Syria, stay out of Syria. I shouldn't get involved. Very bad idea. And then, boom, somebody shows some pictures to him, and they were horrible, don't get me wrong, but they're fake. I'm telling you. They use chlorine gas. The children are the ones that suffered in this. The innocent civilians in this. The white hats staged this bullshit. Okay? It's proof from even the mortar shell in the ground that hit, that it didn't come from any... That shell in the ground did not come from a MiG. You can't. People can look at their own videos and they're turning a blind eye to this. The UN is turning a blind eye to this. This is why the United Nations is world control. Understand? United Nations, NATO. Putin knows this. NATO was created for what? UN was created for what? Who donated the building that the UN is built on in New York? Rockefeller? All New World Order. People are talking about New World Order. I showed you in my video from George Bush. It's a New World Order. Obama has his own agenda for his own style New World Order. And out of chaos comes New World Order. So this is a much bigger picture because their old plan really hasn't worked very well. The EU is collapsing. There's a lot going on there, Brexit. So they've gone to a whole different realm here on how to control this planet. And it's not well. It's dangerous. It includes World War III. It includes destruction. It includes death. It includes, throwing many people under the bus. I know, Debbie. Listen, people are going to call, let's remember one thing. 60 some odd million people on the right and conservatives and independents over here, right? Then you have the left at 62, 63 million over there that don't want to believe anything. They're brainwashed, okay? It's like, it's like the zombie apocalypse. They're like this. Yes. We'll follow along anything that Hillary says or Elizabeth Warren says or Pocahontas. Nancy Pelosi. These are wacky. The Democrat. I'm telling you, liberalism is a disease. It's the key, as Ronald Reagan says. Liberalism is like the key to fascism, Marxism. Excuse me. I'm not losing support. I'm telling you, I'm not dropping support for this president, but I'm going to hold him accountable, as all American voters should do. If you do not hold the man who you voted for, or your congressman as well, and your senators accountable, then what good are you? What good is the American people? You just gave the government to control. The people control. That's what does anybody really know what the Constitution is about? We the people. Separation. People control this country. It's what the people want. Our voting system's totally screwed up. It's corrupted. It's beyond, and now the Dems are looking, because they're going to use this Russiagate to change the voting, how the voting works. And I'm telling you, they're going to come out and they're going to have a whole new voting system by 2020, or new rules and regulations with the voting system. Watch. Maxine Waters. Oh my God. But I'm going to tell you something about crazy Maxine Waters. Pay attention to what she says. She's very close with Obama, that nutcase. She is. Maxine Waters very close with with Obama. Okay? Obama, did you hear what she said? Obama got a file on everybody. Yes, people should want their country back. You should want to hold your president responsible for what he said, accountable for what he says. Just like Sean Hannity says, and we all say, you got to hold. If you don't hold the government accountable, what good are you? You think that just voting for somebody that's the problem in this country? People got separated. Elizabeth Warren was just on what? Jimmy Kimmel or whoever she was on, whatever shock show she was on. The first thing she came out and said. Resistance, keep up the fight, keep up the fight, keep up the fight. The audience roared on because that's what they're doing. They want to keep up the fight. They want to create this chaos. They do not want to let anything slip or slide down any slopes or do anything or leave anything alone. They just want to, and this is what they're doing. Congressmen are getting tired. They don't even want, I'm telling you, they don't want to even go to town hall meetings because Obama's trained people are in there causing havoc at every town hall meeting that there is. They can't even talk to their constituents. How do you expect them to run for re-election if they can't even hold town halls or speak when you have trained anti-Trumpers, disruption experts as they're being trained? The ACLU is even training people to do the same. Resist, anti-Trump, resist. Rules on radicals, exactly. All these splinter groups of America, everyone should march under one banner. Good luck there. You want to know why? Because the right fight amongst themselves. They fight amongst themselves over the most ridiculous crap that there is. The left is not doing that. The left, liberals, Democrats, they unite. Yes, I do believe Hannity's going to come under the chopping blocks next. And it's not Rupert Murdoch. Listen, Rupert Murdoch's tied to the elite. Okay? That's the bottom line. However, Rupert Murdoch built a very good conservative show platform on there. And it's now being taken down, one by one. Excuse me. Gina, the march in Florida is in Mar-a-Lago. Yes, Jim, I agree. This is why we're opening chapters of MFA across this country. Just like Obama's done, but they're doing very harsh training. I want American people to join together to join and protect this country and hold our president accountable and hold our congressmen and senators accountable. Otherwise, you're not going to get any change. People say, well, you know, Hillary did worse than Trump, or Hillary did this, Obama did that worse than Trump. What that argument is meaningless. They're not president anymore. They're not doing shit. Nobody's going after them. We have to ensure that our president does what he's promised to do and what the people want him to do. And Trump is, listen, no matter what hole he ever slides into, if the people stand up, and he will listen to the people. He's a people's president. And if he doesn't, then that'll really show his true colors. Wonder how much media you get at March. Don't worry about that. I take care of that. October, March, we had very good media. And the science march is going on there, which is massive, and it's massive anti-Trump. So we're in one spot, they're in another spot. Just going to be interesting. There is no march in Texas. We're looking very good. Do not pay attention to anybody else. I'm not giving out any numbers on this march. Okay? It doesn't matter if 10 people show up. It's the principle. But no, there's many more than 10. Okay? It'll turn out fine. Okay? It's the principle behind these marches. It's about unifying behind these marches. It's about the nation we're going to start building next week with every chapter that we're opening. And we had this great software for every chapter for volunteers for in there. And what happens, they can create their own petitions to congressmen, senators, letters. It's just awesome. It's nation building. There's not an excuse, just so you know, about he can't do anything that he promised to do. I'm going to tell you what. Switching on foreign policy is a big deal. Okay? Holding China, and he smashed China as not being for currency manipulation. Nope, that changed. Now he's good friends with ping pong. Wonderful. Never be good friends with China. China is the real... You think Russia's the real enemy? China, serious enemy. China, the new world globalist power. Not the United States. China. Financial markets. At all. China's own World Bank. The United States doesn't even have a World Bank. China, all their cash backed by gold. First country in a very long time. They even have a World Bank to do that. China owns a lot of the United States. It owns a lot of our bonds. If China wanted to bankrupt America tomorrow, it could pull its bonds. Okay? So when you get into this whole hype of bullshit of negotiating these great big trade deals with China, China owns us. And that's been allowed to happen. And it's deliberately been allowed to happen. That's correct, Stephen. China is a currency manipulator, and he did not hold them to that. And I don't give a shit what China's doing allegedly for North Korea. China is the one benefiting from this whole big North Korea thing. I'm telling you. They're benefiting from all because China said, well, we'll help you with North Korea if you do this for us. Take care of this on trade for us for this. And I got to say this. I'm going to say this. And I don't care, people. Listen, I'm going to tell you straight. I want you to think about this. Everything's supposed to be make America great again, bring back jobs to America, do all that, and I'll say he's doing very well with that. However, and you give credit where credit's due. However, I want you to ask yourselves this question. If everything's make America great again and build factories in America and to build up and get things from America and control China and what we get from China we not, how come Ivanka Trump and her companies just got, and this is a verified story, how come she just got numerous copyrights to sell her products in China? Do you know how hard it is to sell American goods and other goods in China, meaning their labels in China? But yet we're supposed to be building America great again, but Ivanka gets deals in China to sell her stuff to Chinese people. I want you to ask yourself this question. That's the game Donald plays. He is not dumb. Okay. Here's the deal. I do not hate Donald Trump, but do not be naive. Okay? You tell me. I want you to tell me, since you're saying that he's not dumb, I want you to tell me what the benefit is. Okay? I really want to know what the benefit is for not calling China a currency manipulator and making their currency soar through the roof and financial markets tank on the same day that it happened, and make the dollar devaluate on the same day. Because he's helping us, because China's helping us with North Korea. We don't need China's help with North Korea, just so you know. Just so you know. That's a lot of crap, too. Just because China sends coal over there, this, that, and the other thing. It's real simple. If you're going to go to war with North Korea, you stop the Chinese ships and turn them back. Hello. Sorry, it's not happening. Have a nice day. You're not coming. You're not bringing your ships in. We have it. Embargoes, naval blockades happen all the time. Okay, we do not need China to do all this pressure. China does not want us in North Korea. They do not want the United States or South Koreans backed by the United States on their border. China does not want our THAAD missile defense system in their country. They're cringing over it now because the THAAD can be flipped around to not just from defensive but to offensive to send off serious nuclear missiles. Elaine Kelly, are you saying that I'm lying? Everything I've just stated here is public information. So you can, if that's what you're talking about, everything here is fact checkable. Go fact check it. And one thing I will not do is I'm not going to not show the truth and the facts. Bottom line. Yes, thank you very much. Ian Mitchell says it well. Can't make America great again when we are losing focus on our nation and continuing the war machine. These wars, and I'm going to say it again, Kim is a deplorable, scumbag, horrible dictator, horrible to the people over there. I don't disagree. Here's the bottom line. That's an unwinnable situation. That's why we went into a peace agreement, ceasefire agreement with Korea at the time. The Korean War was going nowhere for the U.S., just so you know that. So many people need to do their history on the Korean War. And we've never been settled it. We're in a peace agreement. We're in a ceasefire agreement. But one thing I will not do. Yes, Donald Trump. What did Trump say about the United Nations? The United Nations it should be busted apart. The United Nations is what? Now everything's the United Nations. We need the backing of this. I'm trying to tell you. And I'm still, listen, I support him. And I respect him, but I'm going to hold him responsible. I'm not going to be like other people and put my head in the sand and go, don't worry, I trust him. He's a smart man. No, I'm going to hold him to his word. If that's what you said you're going to do, then do it. NATO is obsolete, he said. NATO is obsolete. So we're going to get NATO to pay their bills, right? Wonderful. I think that's a great idea. And what he's done there, I believe, is done very well. He's put a lot of pressure on NATO, and I'll give credit where it is. Put a lot of pressure on NATO to pay up their share. Let's see if NATO pays up their share. Let's just see if they do it. Don't worry about trolls. Don't worry about trolls. Trolls belong under bridges. Just let them be there. It's all good. All right. And like I said, I'm going to go with truth. And now that I saw this Julian Assange and this situation coming out, this is a diversion. I'm telling you now, this is a diversion, and I know why the diversion is. I'm not going to say. I'm telling you. I'm just letting you know. Get ready for if a major Democratic liberal bombshell gets dropped tomorrow by them, or thus by Deep State tomorrow, I got my answers about Julian Assange. If it comes on Monday or Tuesday of next week, I still have my answers about Assange. Okay? Not you, Sharon, they're saying the one of you. Yes, Becky, I know about Antarctica. I'm going to do a show on Antarctica. Yes, Janice Hicks, I agree. You're very, Janice, you've shared lots of things on here. Yes, our team knows who the troll is. Yes, Susie, I understand. It takes a lot of time to fix this. But you know what? When you're starting to fall into New World Order tactics and starting to create wars and across the globe, and you're letting generals control your decisions, one of them, McMaster, bad. Very bad New World Order. John McCain will tell you and has told the world day in and day out, I am for New World Order. I want New World Order. Pay attention. Obama will tell you New World Order. Globalists. They do not want separation of countries, borders, states. They want, what did Hillary Clinton say? Open, roaming free borders and the like. Okay? The globalists, this is what they want. And then Hillary would come out and say to you all, oh no, do you have to, total opposite. No, I do not have any concerns about Antifa at the march. This is not Berkeley. This is Washington, D.C. Okay? No concerns. You would not get away with what happened in Berkeley and D.C., I can assure you. And this isn't the first time we've done this. And one thing I know is the local police department and the Secret Service, when we get over to that, we have police escort for the march from the Capitol to the White House. This isn't the first time we've done this. And people just don't want to, I don't know why people do not want to accept the truth that we are controlled. Our government is controlled by powers much bigger. Do I have to replay the Kennedy video and what he warned about and what he told everybody? Because he was right on the money. And he got killed right thereafter. The man who was getting rid of the Federal Reserve, the man who was pulling us out of Vietnam, the man who's splintering the CIA could not exist. They had to get rid of him. Thank you, Susie. It'll be live. Nunez he's recused himself. Temporarily stepped aside from the Senate Investigation Committee. His lawyer is answering the complaint against him. That was another, and I believe he shouldn't have caved either. They all cave. People need to grow some B-A-L-Z-Z-Z. Balls. None of these Republican congressmen bullshit. Where's the balls? It's all circus. You think Congress wants to give up its term limits? That's another one of Trump's promises. Cut term limits. They need to cut term limits bad. Let's see if that happens. Let's see if it happens. I'll praise him till the day is tomorrow. But I'm not going to be like that. When you're a voter, you vote. All of you voted. The way to make your vote count as an American is to stand up for yourself and your country and hold your president responsible for what he promised to do. Pam, I agree. Honestly, people, she says, can't see the escalation towards New World Order at the moment. You need to open your eye. I don't know how much plainer day it has. They're telling you. They're telling you. Obama left. Before he left, he told you. The marches in D.C. in 2 days. You can go to redwhitebluerev.com. Term limits, Obamacare, the list is endless. Cutting taxes. And you know what? The Dems are going to compete. He does not even have many of his picks. There's so many to be done. The Department of Justice is wide open right now. And they're going to keep stalling them. And he thinks he's going to pull these people together? I don't think, one thing I don't think Donald Trump gets. They want him gone. They want him impeached. They want him forced to resign. They were good people around Trump. Bannon's the only last one left, and Trump even threw him under the bus, and I was pissed off about that. Well, Steve Bannon only came on for a little bit. He was not my advisor. Donald Trump, one thing about Donald Trump is he better needs to put his ego aside. Bannon's a good guy who had his back. Okay? And I don't know if he still has it, but I'd be pretty pissed too if I was Bannon. What's wrong with Ivanka exporting to China? Oh, God. Where did it say that Ivanka was going to be exporting from the United States to China? She got her copyrights, patents, able to sell in China. Okay? And if you want to understand truthfully the law, she's in a political position at the White House. Do you know what that looks like? And just so you know, Republicans and independents have come out and say they don't like it either. Trump voters have come out and said they don't like this situation with Ivanka and her husband Jared in the White House and what she did with China. You're telling me right at the night, her father sends cruise missiles over, is meeting with the Chinese, the Xi Jinping, ping pong, and all of a sudden, right away after that, boop, 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 she gets her copyrights and patents. You know how hard that is to do it into China? So it gives you the impression, to the American people and the public that there's some type of collusion going on, favor for favor, whether there is or not. It's the impression of impropriety that's the problem. I told you the story about Giuliani. You'll see it break. It's going to come out eventually, very shortly. I believe Giuliani is flipped. And I know that whole crew over there, and I'll leave it at that. American people shouldn't trust the government. That's what gets me. Why do you want to trust your government? You should never trust the government. That's why we have a constitution. You don't just vote for somebody and just throw them in there and say, okay, it's all on you now. We're done, which many people did. Trelana, very well said. Trelana Kobe says it very. Ivanka and Jared being any part of the administration or having an office in the White House screams nepotism. I agree. And I'm not talking like Kennedy had with his kids. Bobby Kennedy had a job as, Attorney General. Okay, wonderful. Okay? And Trump, Kennedy and him fought a lot about things. But I'll tell you what, Bobby Kennedy went after the mafia and other things that JFK didn't want him to. He went after a lot of people. Bobby Kennedy was it's a big difference here. Never trust your government. And people are like, excuse me. I don't know why people. I don't get that. You should never trust your government. I'm sorry to say that, but that's part of the game here. America needs to get their shit together. Kenny, if they don't do it, don't continue to blindly support them. Yep, different time then. Yes, Patty, totally different. It's just, and when I lay out all this Russia stuff, and I'm going to keep putting it out there, the truth, and I'm going to put it together so everybody can see it, and then I'm going to say, here, I'm going to leave it up to you. I'm telling you I'm still supporting Trump, but I'm telling you now, I'm going to keep delivering the truth of the facts as they come through. I don't mean you guys know me. If there's some fake dossier that comes out or whatever, I'll smash it out there and tell the truth about it. Excuse me for yawning. I very much apologize. I have to go. I have to be up early. Jim, we're never fucked. That's the problem. American people believe that they're screwed when, in fact, the American people need to be thinking the opposite. We're not fucked. That we have ourselves. We have America. We are America. That's what you all seem to forget. America is built up on the good people of this country, not of the government. The people in this country. Jeff McDowell, very, very good point. Both Nixon and Reagan said, don't trust your government to do everything. Eddie, trusting the government is like trusting telemarketing. Yes, Ian. Yes, Pam. I see a lot of, and I see Australia's fight for what they're going through and what they've gone through in their country, but I see a lot of people have united in Australia. And they have united to fight this government control. And you're seeing it happen in the UK with Brexit. People stood up there, and they're coming after them. They do not want the UK to drop out of the EU. Oof, do they not want that? Because it's the beginning of it. Good night, Tammy. I'm going to say good night to everybody as well. And like I said, with this march going on, I still will bring news, but I have a very special show that I'm going to lay out all this stuff for everybody. And I'll get more into Julian Assange tomorrow. I will be shooting live tomorrow as I'm going even into Washington. When I get to Washington, all kinds of good stuff. I'll keep... I don't know where Liz is tonight. She's probably sleeping. Nicholas Brown, very well said. Very well said. Good night, guys. Sorry, I'm just so tired. It's been a very long day, and I have to be up very early. All right. I got to get a few hours sleep. God bless. Thank you for sharing, liking, and again, thank you for all your purchases, your help with this march. It's great. Thank you. All right, stay real, guys. Peace. God